Okay, so today we're talking about a company that competes in an industry I'm not really supposed to talk about here on YouTube. You'll see what I mean in a sec. So unfortunately I have to use a lot of code words and do a lot of self-censoring, and believe me guys, I'm just as annoyed at this as you are. But I have to do it just because it's YouTube and I don't want to get flagged or demonetized by the algorithm. It is what it is, guys. Anyways, so the company we're talking about today competes in the MJ industry, or as Jeremy from Financial Education likes to call it, the Michael Jackson industry. So you know that thing when you have it and it makes you really happy and makes you want to chow down on a box of chicken McNuggets? If you don't know what I'm talking about by now, I can't help you. Anyways, so Jeremy has his pick, which his pick is Planet 13 if you watched any of his videos lately. And don't get me wrong, I like Planet 13 as well, but for me, I'm actually going to pick another company. So I'm not going to pick Planet 13. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Village Farms. So let's go through a brief company profile of Village Farms. So Village Farms International, ticker symbol VFF, is a greenhouse producer of farm products like tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, and whatnot, and they're based out of British Columbia in Canada. And by the way, you can find this stock and trade it with absolutely zero commission using Wealthsimple Trade. Now I've left the referral link down below, and if you use my referral link to sign up, we'll both get $10 when you deposit your first $100 and make your first trade. Now, full disclosure, this is a referral link, so you absolutely do not have to use it if you don't want to. But if you decide to do so, it will help me out, helps out the channel, helps me continue to make great videos like this one at no additional cost to you. So any help would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, back to the video. So we're not here to talk about vegetables. The real reason why we're talking about Village Farms is because they own a 58.7% stake in a company called Pure Sunfarms, which produce low-cost indoor greenhouse-grown MJ. So they're kind of leveraging their knowledge of growing indoor greenhouse vegetables to growing indoor greenhouse MJ, and we'll see exactly how successful they are at this task in just a moment. But first of all, let me just mention, this might come as an absolute shock to you guys, but Village Farms is actually profitable, or at least they've been profitable in their last quarter, and they're almost at exactly pretty much break even on a trailing 12-month basis looking at the income statement. So this is kind of rare in the MJ industry because most MJ companies lose money on the bottom line. So if you're looking at a company, let's say Aurora, let me just put up Aurora's income statement and you'll see last quarter Aurora lost almost $137 million. Now, of course, Aurora is a much bigger company in terms of market cap, so they're dealing with much bigger numbers, and it might not be exactly fair for me to compare the income statement in this way, but we'll look at valuations too in a sec. But before we do that, let me just look at whether or not Village Farms' promise of providing low-cost MJ is actually for reals. Well, according to a report by The Motley Fool, Village Farms' Pure Sunfarms has been able to lower the cultivation cost of MJ to about 64 cents per gram. Now, the article didn't say exactly what the industry average is, but they did say that it was remarkably cheaper compared to the industry average. But I did a little bit of digging. I found this chart of Canopy Growth's cultivation cost back in 2017, and as you can see that their cultivation cost comes in at around $1.25 per gram back in 2017. Now they probably lowered the cost a bit by now, but from all the articles that I've read, they seem to imply that the industry average is still around $1 per gram, so maybe slightly above that. So the fact that Pure Sunfarms is able to come in at 64 cents per gram is pretty revolutionary in my opinion, and puts them at a massive advantage over everyone else. And now you're like, okay, what about the quality of the MJ? Well, I gotta say, I haven't tried it myself, but I did take a look at the OCS website. Now, OCS, if you don't know what it is, it's the official government-run store for MJ here in Ontario ever since MJ was legalized. And 2 out of the best 5 selling strains on the OCS store are Pure Sunfarm products. And in fact, according to this article, Pure Sunfarms in the last quarter in 2019 managed to gobble up 13% of the entire market for dried flower MJ by kilogram sold here in Ontario. Also keep in mind, this is not a very big company, okay? So if we look at the market cap of this company, you can see that the market cap for Village Farms, which is the parent company of Pure Sunfarms, it only comes in at about $450 million in terms of market cap. And this is compared to Aurora, which is at $1.5 billion in terms of market cap, and Canopy, which is at a whopping $8 billion in terms of market cap. And these are Canadian dollars, by the way, so these are all Canadian companies, so I'm just going to use Canadian dollars throughout this entire video. So looking at the valuation, we can see that Village Farms looks very good compared to its peers with a forward PE of around 20. Now the trailing PE is kind of messed up because they're kind of floating in and out of profitability, so I wouldn't really look at that. But the trailing price of sales is around a 3, which is not bad at all. Now looking at Aurora, they don't even have a forward PE because they're so far away from profitability, and their trailing price of sales ratio is around a 5. Comparing to Canopy Growth, we can see that Canopy Growth comes in at a staggering price of sales of 20. So even compared to Jeremy's favorite Planet 13, we can see that Village Farms is valued noticeably lower than Planet 13. So the way I see it is this: either most of the MJ companies that are out there are overvalued, or Village Farms is undervalued, or maybe it's a combination of both. But the way I see it, Village Farms, for what it is, seems really cheap at the moment. Now, admittedly, the stock has not performed that well over the past couple of years, just because we had a huge bubble in the MJ industry a while back, and a bunch of people rushed into MJ stocks without doing any research, and the market just got like super inflated. But now it appears that the bubble has burst and a bunch of speculators have left the market, so everyone who's left are probably in it for the long term. And I think that MJ in the long term is still going to be a growth industry. Now, I don't want to get political here, but the American elections are coming up, and if the poll numbers are to be believed, it seems like Donald Trump and the Republicans are not doing so well at the moment. Now, if I think that Joe Biden's going to get elected, he might be more open to legalizing MJ on a national level in America, which I think will be incredible for the MJ industry, right? It'll just open the floodgate in terms of MJ stocks, and it'll just be like, there'll just be so much renewed interest in the MJ industry. I feel like a lot of these stocks are gonna pop like crazy. And also, we're in a time where literally everything is going up in price, right? So I'm talking about stocks, except for maybe some like travel related stocks for obvious reasons, but most stocks in general are skyrocketing. And I'm also talking about things like gold and silver, real estate, cryptocurrencies, just a whole bunch of stuff. Like every asset class seems to be skyrocketing in price right now. So it's really a lot to say that I found a stock that seems potentially undervalued. Now, full disclosure, I don't own any position in Village Farms just yet, but I might start buying some in the future. Now, this is not to say that you should be buying this stock, just because, again, this is a very small cap company in a highly speculative industry. So in terms of picking stocks, this is just about one of the riskiest plays you can make. So your risk tolerance really has to be high if you want to play this stock. Also, please do your own research on whether or not you want to buy this stock. I'm just some guy on YouTube. So what I'm trying to say is that this is not financial advice, and don't sue me if you lose money. So anyways, I'll leave the video here. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you like this series. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links down below in the description as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!